Okay, good afternoon, and thanks for the invitation, and hello, everyone. I'm actually the CMO of MixMarvel, and Mary is our CSO, so our talk is actually divided into two parts. So I'm going to take the first part, and Mary is going to explain more about MixMarvel, our major steps for globalization, and our more about the platform. So basically, we come from a traditional game background. We have 10 years experience in the gaming industry, and our MixMarvel is solely focused on the track of blockchain game. And with the major successes, kind of the leading blockchain industry projects currently. So our talk today is going to be our Layer-2 solution published services empower blockchain game mass adoption. So I'm going to take the part of our individual products, publishing services, and technical solution. And later on, Mary is going to talk more about MixMarvel, our business portfolio, and our major steps for global expansion. So just want to do a little survey for better know about the audience today. So anyone here are developers or kind of in the blockchain game industry? Just to show your hands. Okay, got it. So I just want to give a brief background about blockchain games. So the year of 2018 was the year of the era of blockchain games. A lot of developers entered the industry to do their practitioners and experiments to get to know about how to do blockchain games. And kind of get three solutions and three key ideas here. First is that the idea of having assets, digital assets, of in-game assets powered by blockchain is opening up a new market for games. Second is that as we have all the results and data to be verifiable on the blockchain, it opens up new opportunity. Third is that for adding token economy into blockchain, into gaming, beyond the gaming economy is another new business model for games. So having these three key ideas give up new opportunity for gaming, and we call it a new generation of games. So here is our MixMarvel is doing. We have products developed solely for blockchains, and after we analyze our products, we get our know-how and services. We put those into technology and solutions to help other developers to quickly get into the blockchain games industry. So that's the publishing service part we're going to talk about. So let's start by Hyperdragons. So I did a talk in a lot of events about Hyperdragons. So it's one of the top games ranked on Ethereum, and it's successfully run on multi-public chains on Ontology, and later we're going to put more on Tron and Neo and other leading blockchains that you know. So it's kind of a light bulb in the industry. It has several successes, including it's the first blockchain game that used Layer-2 solution developed by ourselves and successfully tested that in Hyperdragons. It's called Rocket Arena. Second is that we were one of the first teams that should emphasize the importance of gaming token economy in blockchain games, and how important is that for developers to consider token economy design. And third is that we're one of the first games that should solely focus on user experience. So we have internal transactions inside Hyperdragons. Users don't need to go out of the game to do any crypto transactions. Everything is done inside the game. And lastly is that, we were the games that after CryptoKitties and surpassed CryptoKitties for the number of DAU and for the richness of the gameplay. So in last year, Christmas, we upgraded our gameplay to Ontology, and it's called Hyperdragons Go. This data is a little outdated. That in March this year, we achieved 1 million number of ONG for revenue. And for the prize pool inside the game, we achieved 120,000 ONG for the prize pool. That's rewarded to our global players. So benefit from the Ontology global community that's distributed across Europe, America, Southeast Asia, and East Asia. So we can target their community very accordingly. And we're one of their Renaissance Reward Program winners. So here, HyperDragons is around digital assets. So all the gameplay is around the dragons. It's an RPG idle game. A lot of gameplay ties to the dragon cultivation. So here's the stats of our assets owners. So our top players, they own 50 plus dragons, and our leading players, they own average of 20 plus dragons. And there's special species that's applied to the ontology blockchain that we designed for them. So this is all about gameplay. The gameplay of the Dragon Arena ties to both the Ethereum version and to the ontology version. So here comes the core of the presentation today. So after we designed HyperDragons, we sort of to see the barrier of entry for the designing blockchain games. So we analyzed that into 3 categories. First is poor performance and flexibility. So for instance, if you have an MMO or any large-scale game, it cannot be run on the public chain because they cannot stand the high TPS is not sustainable on the public chain. So that's the first problem. And second problem is lack of services and functions. So in the existing blockchain industry, there are lack of services provided by public chains or any external parties. Unlike the traditional games, there's so many engines, toolkits help you to develop a game, and this kind of service is lacking inside the public chain industry. And third is high cost and barrier of entry. So that applies to both ends, for users and for developers. For users, you need to download your wallets, you need to get your first crypto, and it's very hard for users to enter the industry. And second, for developers, it's also hard for them to understand as well because they have lots of research costs and experiment costs that ties to develop blockchain games. So we have solutions that ties to these 3 categories of problems that goes to our Layer-2 solution, which is called Rocket Protocol. Second is our MixMarvel SDK, and last is MixMarvel Cloud to specifically solve this kind of 3 types of problems. So the Layer-2 solution here is called Rocket Protocol. It's first tested and successfully running in our HyperDragons game. It protects the core of decentralization and user security. And it has its own consensus mechanism that solely ties to decentralization mechanisms. And we're going to open it out to third-party developers to use it in this Q3. And we're going to have a launch party on the Rocket Protocol in August in Shanghai to get the public to understand what's Rocket Protocol and how to use it. Second is MixMarvel SDKs. We work with high-level resources such as exchanges, wallets, other protocol solutions, marketing toolkits providers to make sure developers don't need to take the hassles of independently collaborate with any of this kind of resource partners. And we provide a holistic solution inside the MixMarvel SDKs to help developers to get in touch with these exchanges, wallets, to make sure marketing toolkits, to make sure they can solely use our services and technology. Last is MixMarvel Cloud. So a lot of developers is wondering how they can get access to the end users. So we made this one-stop solution for them. So using MixMarvel Cloud is a plug-in solution. So you can, just one click, you can get access to your end users and make the product accessible to your global end users. Then after this kind of holistic solution with MixMarvel SDKs, Cloud, and Layer-2 solution, our marketing and operation team is going to help you with token economy design and to market your game towards the community. So all of the services we tested in our own game, so which is Hypersnakes, is successfully running on Tron, Ontology, and Ethereum, and it's a cross-chain products. It's revolutionary because we are trying to solve the problem of mass adoption here. the state game has a billion users worldwide. And the blockchain game industry is facing the problem of lack of users. So if we assume that we have a small percentage of the traditional game users going into the blockchain industry, that's going to hugely help out the mass adoption problem. So let's take a quick look at the gameplay to get a feel of how blockchain can interact with the Hypersnakes game. Could you help us to play? Yeah, so this is the Hypersnakes game targets different audiences. So first part, it targets the players. So for instance, the traditional players from the snake game, they enter inside Hypersnakes. They can collect digital tokens inside the game. And they can fight for their skills and get rewards from their good skills of playing. And what's very interesting about blockchain game is that they have target different demographics. Not only users, they're investors and people who are fight for good benefits, the sort of the gamblers inside the community. So they can actually buy Snake Field. If they buy a Snake Battlefield and successfully manage that battlefield, they can get token reward from other players playing inside the battlefield. It's just like running a room of traditional games. And another highlight here is that all the skins inside the Hypersnake game are all digital assets, which are tradable assets in the market. So after we solve the problem of mass adoption, we're trying to solve the problem of large-scale game running on public chains. So Ground Hunter is going to release on Q3 this year, and it's going to showcase that large-scale games such as a first-person shooter can also be running on blockchain. So yeah, here all the guns are digital assets that are tradable assets and can be cultivated by players. And their gameplay that ties with FPS that's very specific for the blockchain industry. Their prediction and arena portion that can all be very community driven and be sort of a revenue source for blockchain users. And yeah, here goes with my part, and I'm going to give the mic to Mary, and she's going to talk more about successes and more about MixMarvel platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Yi, and I know it's running out of time, so I will keep it short. Okay, so I think one thing we need to mention that the whole team will from traditional gaming industry, and the core team has participated in like Assassin's Creed, The Prince of Persia. So we are very seasonal game developers and publisher. So as we grow up with this experience, actually, like the Hyper Dragon, we got #1 on Ethereum, and we surpassed CryptoKitties on August 2018. And Ontology, we always ranked #1. And the Hypersnakes, we have already surpassed the DAU of 3,000, and the whole online time of the users getting 1,000 hours within a week. And the Ground Hunter, actually, we believe that it will be a mass adoption game in the whole platform. So, right, sorry, how can I get it? The next one. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Right, so let's take a look at all the games we are going to launch, and it's all ready to go. So we think this year we will have 12 games launching this whole platform. This video is a little bit too old. It's our new guest place, and we visualized all the buildings into functions. You can get entrance to all the games, and you can do POA visit, finish the tasks. And the Hyper Dragons is the first trial of the whole platform. It's a traditional blockchain game. Like you can raise, you can experience, you can explore, and you can trade all the NFTs. And in the battlefield, you can set up the battles. And the hyper snakes, actually, we have already generating the traditional traffic to this game because, as Yi said, we lower the user's friction of log in the game. So we can have more traditional users to experience the game first. And the hyperspeed, it will be within our Marvel Land, which is our platform. And you can build up your own track with our whole SDK, and if any others using your track, you will be rewarded with tokens. And the Marvel Clans, we have already announced the business partner with Clayton, which is the public chain of Kakao in Korea. And this game actually used to be a light competitive game in Facebook, so it's very suitable for a social environment. And the Ground Hunter, which is will be launched next Q3. All this video is not a demo; it's a video recording, so the users can experience the game smoothly, with no feeling about a blockchain. But all the guns and the components are NFTs. So it is an example of a traditional game blockchain. And the Crypto Throne, it used to be the #1 game on iOS, and we helped them to get cross-chain. Okay, so actually this video contains a lot of contents here. Like we providing the publishing service, we help the games to get cross-chain, and we get the games how to have the mass adoption first, and then get the users to be blockchain users. So actually this is our whole core business. We are a publishing platform. I know that a lot of people here are doing games or you're doing NFT trading platform, and we all appreciate for this. But as a game developer, we know that the key point to make a game to be successful is the login system and the payment system, and also the traffic. So this is what we are focusing on. Okay. And as everyone knows that in the final goal, it will be a combination and a win-win situation for everyone, and this is what we want it to. Okay, so this is the roadmap. Actually, a lot of people, they are curious. They will ask us, are you aiming to get this one from the very, very beginning? Because actually we start with Hyper Dragons, which is a game. But to be honest, we imagine of this picture from the very beginning. We get involved into the blockchain game since 2017. So far we goes quite well with all the rhythm. Like we have already released the Hyper Snakes, make the mass adoption, and our battle chain get launched. Our platform will be launched on August. And the phase 2, our Galaxy, like the Rocket Protocol and our wallet, and is going to launch. And all this will be within this year, including the 12 games developed by ourselves and cooperate with the third-party developers. So the whole picture we are going to do is to connect everyone here. And by the way, we as a developer, we know that there is a pain point of every single game. It is about the life cycle. So if we can cooperate with Marvel Land, there will be one benefit, is all the NFT can be reused in our platform, and we will offer more gameplay, and which will be offered as very simple SDK developer tools kit, so that people, one is customer can generate more gameplays according to your own game, and also the NFT will be reused in other gameplays. So actually we are building the whole world as we wish. So I'm more in the strategy and the business side, and I'm more than happy to welcome more game developers and the traditional, including the traditional gameplay developers, to join us. And we believe that we can offer a better service in this industry and to build a world we like. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That's great.